Good evening, everybody. Before we begin with today's event, I kindly request each and every one of you to observe a minute of silence for the departed souls of the Air India Express IX1344 crash at Kozhikode. During this time, let us also remember and thank the brave pilots, Captain Deepak V. Sathe and First Officer Akhilesh Kumar for doing their best to reduce loss of lives on that unfortunate day. Let us also pray for the injured to recover very soon. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good evening and welcome to Udaan Aviation Academy's webinar number 3, your window to the skies, career opportunities in the aviation industry. I am Srinivas Badri, head moderating crew for today's webinar. Before we begin with today's webinar, I'd like to list some of the instructions. I kindly request you to pay attention for the same. The webinar time will be approximately 1 hour and 30 minutes. We are expecting some great insights, interesting stories, and a lot more in today's webinar. We are also expecting a lot of questions from you, our inquisitive and curious audience. And that is exactly why we have dedicated an exclusive 30-minute Q&A session at the end of today's event. So do be ready with all your doubts and queries. Our speakers will do their best to answer them. Please do note that your mics would be muted throughout the session. This is to prevent any sort of disturbances or ambient noise from creeping in. The Q&A session will be held in the final half hour of the webinar. I request you to kindly be ready with all your queries. The chat box will be enabled for a short period of time after the presentations, and you can type in your questions. Thank you so much for your cooperation. We've got a line of speakers with rich and varied experiences in the field of aviation, a pilot, a corporate trainer, and an academic. So kindly remain seated with your seatbelts tightly fastened and enjoy the session. We do hope that you will gain some interesting insights into building a career in the exciting world of aviation. Our first speaker is Mr. Shubhashish Modak, L&D Manager at Udaan Aviation Academy. He obtained his bachelor's degree in aeronautics and aircraft maintenance engineering from the Bombay Flying Club. He obtained his master's in international tourism and aviation management from the University of West London. He has to his credit more than 5 years of industrial and academic experience and has worked with prestigious brands in the aviation world such as Heathrow, Emirates, and Menzies Aviation. He has rich experience in the fields of airline ground operations, airport passenger handling, and airport management. He has also worked as an instructor at various institutes, specializing in aviation-based subjects and research. He aims to bridge the wide divide that exists between academia and the industry through his brainchild, Udaan Aviation Academy. I now request Mr. Shubhashish to take over. Thank you.
Thank you, Badri, and thank you, Team Udaan, for this warm welcome. Hello, good evening, everyone. This is Shubhashish Modak, and I'm here to tell you about the behind-the-scenes job roles within the aviation industry. Now, aviation industry is as glamorous as it can get. I mean, you can have your offices at 35,000 feet altitude, with the best views provided by Mother Nature as a pilot. You can take selfies with Bollywood and Hollywood actors and actresses as a cabin crew. But at the heart of this very important industry lies a very important component, which is the aircraft. The aircrafts are the driving force of aviation industry. Without aircrafts, we cannot imagine what aviation industry is today. Which brings me on to this, very important question. And let me hear your opinion as well out of this. What do you think is the most important element required for an aircraft to fly? So I would request all the participants to sort of type their answers in the chat boxes and let's have a look. I'll repeat, what is the most important element required for an aircraft to fly? Is it the engines? Is it the wings? Or is it something else? What is the most important element required? Yeah, so engines, lift, oh, money, fuel, great. Passengers, cockpit, pilots, yes, Puneet will be happy seeing that. Thrust, wings. Yeah, I mean, right. So whether it is engine, whether it is, wings, the most important element which is required to fly an aircraft is air. I mean, air is the most important ingredient for an aircraft. Without air, the wings cannot generate lift, the engine cannot produce thrust, the aerodynamic nature of the aircraft won't receive justice if there is no air. So air is the most important component for an aircraft to fly. Now, why have I bought this slide on a career stay? To be very honest, in the aviation industry, it is important for all of you to get your basics right. Okay. In aviation industry, we do not have a second chance. A lot of aviation accidents and incidents happen because people don't get their basics right. So it is important in aviation industries to make sure that you get your basics right. You have an eye to a detail in whatever job role you are currently into or which you want to pursue. Talking about getting into those different job roles, before you enter into the world of aviation industry, you need to stuff yourself with certain aviation knowledge, which brings me on to this very important thing of aviation studies. Okay, now before we talk about aviation studies, the aviation industry is divided into these four major sectors. You have got airlines. Airlines are the ones who take people from point A to point B. The word globalization, it exists today because of the word airline. I mean, airline has acted as a catalyst for the world to move around in a very faster manner. The second component which we have in the aviation industry are the airports. Airports are the gateway for people to explore the world and for the rest of the world to explore that particular city. Each and every airport brings in a lot of income, investment, job opportunities, and it not only lifts the city, but it also lifts the entire nation. Hence, whenever you think about aviation industry, आपको ये दो शब्द ज़्यादा सुनाई देते हैं, airlines and airports. And rightly so, these are the major job creators within the aviation industry. So majority of you aviation aspirants out here might find yourself working into these two components. The third important pillar which we have in the aviation industry are regulators. Okay, regulators are the ones who make sure that these airlines, airports, and any other aviation organization are following the law. Okay, so the law abiding agency for civil aviation in India is DGCA, Director General of Civil Aviation. They make sure that everyone follows the law. The firm which is engaged into making laws is the Ministry of Civil Aviation. MOCA, generally known as. So MOCA is the one who creates laws for the sector, and it is sort of regulated by DGCA. These are the three major pillars out there. Whatever else is left becomes a part of ancillary organization. So you have got ground handling companies which sort of act as a supporting role for the airlines. You have got small manufacturing facilities in India. We still not have a major aircraft manufacturing within India, but we are a key supplier to manufacturing companies like Boeing and Airbus when it comes to software application. So these are a part of ancillary organization. Now, before you start sort of enter into these kind of different sectors, you need to have basic aviation knowledge, which brings me on to aviation studies. Aviation industry join करने के लिए कहाँ से study करना चाहिए आपको? Now, for that, I have divided the entire aviation study market into three major sectors out here. So you have got diploma courses, you have got degree courses, and you have got short-term courses. But to be very honest with you guys, learning is a continuous process in the aviation industry. The moment you join this industry, it's like a marriage. You cannot leave it. Okay. It's continuous learning, which is happening throughout. Refresher training hote rehte hain for each and every job roles, because this industry is very dynamic by nature. Hence, you always need to sort of study and keep yourself updated. We'll talk about each of these segments in much more details. Let's start with diploma courses. So diploma courses are predominantly divided into two major segments: undergraduate diploma and postgraduate diploma. Let's talk about undergraduate diploma. Undergraduate diploma options are available after 10+2. 10+2 option ke baad, no matter whether or not you are from a science stream, a commerce stream, or an art stream, you can join aviation diploma courses, hospitality courses, travel and tourism courses, the key focus of these courses is to enhance your communication skills, make yourself presentable for the industry. And these courses can provide you good entry level positions like customer service agent or cabin crew in the airline or in the airport segment. Now, there is a growing importance among recruiters to hire individuals who have got minimum graduate, as a degree. But that does not keep the 10+2 out of the equation. There are a lot of still aviation companies hiring 10+2. At the other spectrum, we have got postgraduate diploma. Now, as the word suggests itself, post-graduation, मतलब after graduation के बाद एक साल का dedicated diploma course रहता है for aviation studies. Okay, these postgraduate diploma courses mainly focus the operation and management positions in the aviation industry. Now here there is an important tip for all of you guys who are looking to pursue career in aviation industry. Any course which you invest into after your bachelor's degree should be of a nature which provides you a good position within the industry. कोई ऐसा college ढूंढो जो आपको जिसका industry tie-up बहुत अच्छा है, which can give you a good job within the respective industry. So you need to look for those good colleges which are providing excellent postgraduate diploma courses. So that was diploma courses for you. Talking about degree courses. Now, degree courses within the industry are of various variety. So we have got bachelor's degree, master's degree, and we have got PhD also available within India. So when you talk about bachelor's degree, we have got a degree which is called as Bachelor of Administration in Aviation Management. So what they teach in this 3 years time is the different aspects of aviation industry, right from ground handling to managerial positions to operational roles and so on and so forth. BSc in aviation is generally done by candidates who are doing their pilot training. So pilot training is a licensed course within itself. So in order to have sort of a bachelor's degree along with their pilot training courses, the pilots do opt for BSc in aviation. So these two sort of their pilot training and BSc in aviation, they sort of happen side by side itself. For people who take AME, now AME is aircraft maintenance engineering. Aircraft maintenance engineers are responsible to make sure that these metal birds or these aircrafts are fit to fly. जैसे आप आपका कार और बाइक को working condition में रखते हो, वैसे aircraft maintenance engineers aircraft को working condition में रखते हैं. So they generally do a course which is called as an AME. Along with their AME course, they do BSc in aeronautics, which sort of acts acts as their degree course as well. Next, we have got hardcore engineering courses into the aviation industry. So you have got BE and BTech in aeronautics. Now, getting into BE and BTech aeronautics require competitive exams. आपको crack करने पड़ते हैं, जैसे आपको JEE mains, एडवांस या कोई भी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का जो लोकल engineering entrance exam रहता है, you need to clear that, and that's how you can enter colleges like IITs or any other good college within India. Talking about master's level is getting good importance in the corporate world of the aviation industry. As I have said previously as well, anything you do after bachelor's degree needs to be worth every penny. So in order to join a good MBA college, you need to give what is called as a CAT exam, or common admission test. After you give your CAT exam, you can get into those good B schools in India who have got good industry tie-ups, and from there you can sort of join the airline as a airline revenue manager, or an airline route and network planner, and from there you can sort of climb your corporate ladder. MTechs in aeronautics, obviously aeronautics is all about designing. Okay, whenever you join the MTech or BTech, जब भी आप लेते हो aeronautics में, you are mostly involved into the manufacturing component of the aviation industry. So you study subjects like computational fluid dynamics, aerospace designs, and so on and so forth. Last but not the least, which is kind of getting paces in India, is PhD level studies. We have got a couple of organizations within India who provide PhD in aviation management. Now, after doing your PhD in aviation management, you might work as a lecturer, or you might act as a consultant in the aviation industry for airlines and airports. Generally, PhD is done by those people who have got knack to know more in the aviation industry. Unko koi problem solve karna hai within the industry. And the same way goes for aeronautics, but focusing on the manufacturing side. So these are degree courses for you. The next one on the list are short-term courses. Now, short-term courses are very niche by nature. बहुत ही job specific होते हैं ये short-term courses. Short-term courses can range from couple of hours to couple of days to couple of weeks. Short-term courses are very practical oriented by nature. एकदम job specific होते हैं. Short-term courses are mostly provided by IATA and ACI, but these are very expensive by nature. Some of them goes in lakhs of rupees for a 5-day training and might cost you even an arm and a leg. But these are very industry specific. I mean, we at Udan Aviation Academy, we try to focus on providing a good value for money in order to provide similar courses which are provided by IATA and ACI. Well, more about that in the end of the session. Let's move on to what kind of job roles you can expect after you sort of do this plethora of courses which we have talked about. So from jobs like ticketing and passenger service, so the moment you enter the airport, you will be greeted with an airline staff, and they will be processing you throughout the terminal building. They will be responsible to make sure they provide you the right ticket, and so on and so forth. So ticketing and passenger services, airport operations, AME, aircraft maintenance engineering. So as we have discussed before, these are the ones who keep the aircraft airworthy. Then you have got security. So security in Indian airports is mostly provided by CISF, or Central Industrial Security Force. If you want to enter into CISF, make sure you have got a good physique, and you need to clear their entrance exams, which happens once every year. Next, a very sort of unknown job role in the industry is wildlife operations. Now, you might have seen the movie Sully, जहाँ पे bird hit के वजह से aircraft को Hudson River पे land करना पड़ता है. Birds and wildlife are a major threat to the day-to-day aviation operations, and it is the responsibility of the wildlife operation teams of every airport to make sure that the airport is safe enough for day-to-day operations. Moving on to the management side. In management side, you, after doing courses like BBA and MBA, you might be involved with the industry as an airline fleet planner. Now, fleet planner का काम ये होता है कि to select the right aircraft for the airline depending on their business model. Indigo has got A320 aircrafts. Air India has got 787. Why? Because their business models are totally different. Air India flies long haul, तो उनके पास बड़ा aircraft है. So ये जो decisions है, it is taken by airline fleet planner. Airline route and network planning. Which aircraft you should fly where, international fly करना है, domestic fly करना है. All this are a part of network planning. Airline HR. I mean, employees are the backbone to any organization, and aviation industry as an airline HR, and you might take care of the different employees which are out there. Airline marketing manager, yes, a very sort of good managerial position. In today's world, jo dikhta hai wo bikta hai. And that is what your job as an airline marketing manager. You have to market your airline in such a way that everyone craves for your particular airline. Airline revenue analyst, this is a very interesting job. I mean, airlines know the art of selling one particular product to 100 different people at 100 different prices. ये जो जॉब है, एक ही चीज को 100 अलग अलग रेट पे 100 अलग लोगों को बेचना, that is done by airline revenue analyst. We have got a beautiful course coming up at Udaan for airline revenue analyst. Then ministry jobs, sarkari jobs, Ministry of Civil Aviation, MOCA, DGCA, Director General of Civil Aviation, BCAS, Bureau of Civil Aviation Security. ये सरकारी जॉब्स के लिए आपको सिविल सर्विसेज का एग्जाम क्लियर करना पड़ेगा. सो यूपीएससी का एग्जाम रहता है, आपको वो क्लियर करके इन सब गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में जॉब मिल सकता है. AAI stands for Airport Authority of India. Airport Authority of India has recently published 110 vacancies, so you need to clear gate exams for that. Airport planner, anyone who already is an architect can join companies like GMR and GVK and become an airport planner. Airport terminal manager, the job of airport terminal manager is to make sure that the show must go on. Aviation industry rukna nahi chahiye. Environmental officer, these are the modern jobs which are coming within the industry. We all know how different industries have got their impact on their environment. Okay, and aviation industry is no such different. Airlines, they pollute a lot, and airport have got a larger carbon footprint. So the work of an environmental officer is to make sure that the pollution levels of the airlines, the noise levels are kept at minimum. The airports, they maintain a healthy carbon footprint, and they act as good businesses towards the environment. So these are modern jobs which are coming within the sector. Moving on to a particular job role, जहाँ पे majority of the aviation का focus रहता है. That job role is airline customer service executive. So many of you might join the industry as airline customer service executive, and this is how you might grow up in the industry. From customer service executive, you will become a senior customer service executive. From there, supervisor का काम रहता है जो customer service agent है on a particular shift, whether or not they are functioning properly. Monitoring the supervisors are duty officers. Duty officers oversee different operations within the terminal facility, right from check-in to security to boarding, and make sure everyone runs in an orderly manner. Overseeing duty officer is duty manager. Generally, aviation industry is a 24/7 industry. So, एक airport पे, major airports पे 3 शिफ्टों में काम होता है. So, overseeing a duty officer is a duty manager. From duty manager, you can become an airport manager whose major responsibility is to not only run the operations, but also make sure that that respective station is making money. Okay? So operational or managerial both hai. And the top of the ladder, we have got station manager. जैसे आपने रेलवे में सुना रहेगा, it's a station master जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं, who is responsible for each and every thing which is happening at that respective train station. For airports, we have got station manager who looks at the overall responsibility of that respective airport. Now, the aviation industry has got certain perks, and these are the perks which generally people enjoy in the aviation industry. High salaries. I mean, Puneet ji out here might be earning in millions once he joins Indigo. So high salaries is one of the major components. These are great workplaces. I mean, कौन से industry में आपको मिलेगा that you will see this big metal birds landing and take off? It will always give you goosebumps because these are excellent workplaces. As I've mentioned before, there are constant refresher trainings which are happening within the industry. So there are a lot of study leaves which are out there. Medical benefits, most of the jobs in aviation are very safety critical. So medical benefits are provided by a lot of companies. And last but not the least, and this is something that that's why we all love the aviation industry so much, is free air tickets. Right? I mean, the moment you join airline, the next day your friends and relatives call you, ki boss, free air tickets though, let us fly with you. So these are certain perks which are joined by people in the aviation industry. Now, your question to me will be कि sir ये सब तो ठीक है, but job मिलेगा क्या? You might have definitely heard news about airlines laying off staff, and it's pandemic. The flights are not happening that much. To be very honest, guys, this is not new to aviation industry. Aviation industry has faced things in the previous decades as well. Whether it was the 9/11 terror attacks, aviation industry went to a dip. 2008 economic recession, again the industry went into a dip, and pandemic is no different. But the from the history, what we have seen that every time the industry went onto a dip, it has come much more stronger. I mean, ask yourself this question: in this lockdown, कितने सारे लोगों के travel spending है? You might have laid down your holiday vacation. All of them has got cancelled because of the pandemic. And the moment this industry opens, we all will be flying. So yes, there will be jobs out there. But don't expect to be the Elon Musk of aviation industry. आपको सीधा कोई CEO नहीं बना देगा airline का. You have to work hard and you have to work smart towards your goals. Now, this is an important mantra which I want all of you to remember. Okay, please make a note of it. You have to always ask yourself as to what the industry wants or what is the industry asking from you. The industry is asking ASK, 3-letter word. So A stands for the right attitude. Whenever you are planning to work within the aviation industry, you need to have the right positive attitude. Optimistic hona chahiye, excellent communication skills, spick and span grooming. You need to have the right attitude. This is what the employees are looking for when you join the industry. So A stands for right attitude. S stands for the right skill sets. I mean, if the aircraft maintenance engineers start to fix airline cracks using duct tapes, then it won't do good to our industry. So for each and every job role, you need to have specific skill sets which you need to develop. And K stands for the sound knowledge. You not only need to know the different aspects of aviation industry, but also you have to be a niche in this industry. For example, when people think about a dangerous good handler, they should think about you. Oh, that is the dangerous good handler. I should call him. He can fix my thing. Whenever they think about a revenue analyst, they should think about you. So you need to develop these kind of knowledge base within you as well. So right attitude, right skills, and right knowledge, which you all need to have. With this, I would like to sort of end my particular session, and I would like to end it with this quote. To most people, sky is the limit. To those who love aviation, sky is their home. I mean, everyone says sky is the limit, but for people who work in the aviation industry, that is where we start from. That is where our home is. So our future presenters, Puneet ji and Samir ji, will be talking shortly. Over to you, Badri. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Shubhashish, for throwing light on the varied and diverse career paths that one can take in the world of aviation. I am pretty sure that our audience now have a clear idea about their next steps to make their aviation dreams come true. Thank you very much. And now it's time for our next speaker, our pilot for the day. Meet Captain Puneet Baldava, pilot and co-founder at Jetstream Aviation Academy. He obtained his bachelor's degree in aviation from the Bombay Flying Club and went on to receive his commercial pilot license from the Madhya Pradesh Flying Club. He also obtained his A320 type rating from HATE Aviation Safety and Training Singapore. He now conducts online sessions for commercial pilot license aspirants as a part of Jetstream Aviation Academy. I now request Captain Puneet to take over. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Patri. That was a great introduction. I wouldn't have expected something better than this. And
you're welcome.
Subhashi, that was a very enlightening seminar. It was you actually explained everything about the aviation, had a proper overview of the aviation. But now let's dive into how to become a pilot. I want to ask, the first question I want to ask is, why do you want to be the pilot? What is the reason of becoming a pilot? You can write your answers on the chat box and I'll be reading from here. Passion, right. Passion, love, money. Absolutely makes sense. Absolutely. So I just want to make sure that correct the love of flying childhood dream. Okay. So I just want to make sure that you're gonna anything you do in your life, you're surely gonna get some obstacles in your life. So the only thing that is gonna drive you to reach there to become the thing that you want to become. For example, right now, commercial pilot. This is a reason that you have to keep in mind when you get that obstacle, when you get that challenge. Remember that it was a passion that made you come into the aviation and become a commercial pilot. It's not going to be easy road. It's not a straight road. Of course, there are problems, there are challenges, of course, but the passion, the love, the dream, everything, that is the main thing that should be in your mind when you come across that obstacle. Again, so right now about aviation industry, it's going pretty good. Jet Airways is reviving. 737 Max is might revive again, and if Jet and 737 Max gets crack a deal or something, they might bring a good number of vacancies and all. And again, SpiceJet is coming up with new ideas of wet leasing aircrafts, Vande Bharat mission. There are many more things that is happening in aviation as a new thing. So I feel aviation industry is again gonna boom soon. It's gonna take a bit of time, but yeah, it might boom soon. So now I want to talk about what are the qualities that you should have. What are the things that you should be? So first is ability to stay calm. That is very important for everyone. For it's just not becoming into pilot, but in general, for pilot it is necessary because it's just not you in the aircraft. There are 100 passengers, 200 passengers. There are 4 5 cabin crews. There are 2 pilots. There are total 200 people on board, and you 2 people. You are the one who's in charge, who's responsible for everyone's life. So this is a high risk taking job. So if you're ready, yes, you can do it. It's the perfect thing. Or again, team player. That is again very important. So there's something called CRM in our aviation. That is crew resource management, wherein there should be a proper communication happening in between the pilots, and again the pilots and cabin crew. It's like even if the non-flying pilot is going to get the checklist, he has to communicate it with the pilot who's flying. Like, okay, I'm going to get the checklist, because it is very difficult for the pilot flying to go and see, oh, what is he doing? And he can't even miss a second. I have flown 320 simulator, and 320 is super fast. You can't miss even a second time. I had a very tough time. At least like I should just see straight and just talk with the communication. That's it. Ears are working, your eyes are working, your senses are working, all the senses, because you have to, again, if there's some smoke, you have to smell it. So every senses, every part of your body should be alive. So that is very important. Again, you have to be multitasking, like I said. If you're flying, you have to look for the weather, the cloud, the traffic, the aircraft, the instruments. If you're not flying, if the communication, you have to take care of the everything. That is very important. After that, it's about licenses in India. We're going to talk about, there are 3 types of licenses. Basically, there are 4, but we're going to talk about 3. First is student pilot license, that is SPL. You have to be minimum 16 years old, and minimum qualifications is 10 standard. And class 2 medical fitness is very important, and it has to be used only for the training purpose. This is the slide I was talking about. Then the student pilot license. Now over here, if you don't want to go on the commercial level, you can do a private pilot license, wherein it's just for the hobbies. Like if you like flying, why not take a PPL and then fly the aircraft for your joy? But if you want to take it to the next level, to the commercial level, you have to do the commercial pilot license. So what about PPL, private pilot license? The pilot should be 17 years old minimum, 40 hours of flying, class 2 medical, and should clear all the DGCA paper. And the last is commercial pilot license. If you want to do on the larger scale commercial level, it has to be the pilot has to be 18 years old, minimum 200 hours of flying at least in India, And physics and maths is very important with 55% percentage in both the subject. Don't worry if you're from commerce background, we are going to talk about the backup plan for the commerce students. Right now, talking in general. Next is what are the options of becoming a commercial pilot. First, I'll talk about what are the options, what all you can become. You can become an airline pilot. You can become a cargo pilot. Again, that's a Airbus Beluga. It's used for transportation of all fuselage, wings, and engines and everything of the aircraft. Other is Air Force, Coast Guard, instructor pilot, and chartered pilot. So you can always have these are the famous 3 or 6 options. You can always find many more options once you get into the aviation. Next is let's get into the journey. All right. If you're from commerce background, you should have physics and maths. That's a basic rule. For that, if you're from commerce, you have to give exam from the NIS board, that is National Institute of Open Schooling, wherein you have to give physics and maths paper, attain 55%, and you're good. You can get into the aviation field as soon as possible, at least for becoming a commercial pilot. If you're from science, it's amazing. You are clearing the first step itself. Then comes is once you have physics and maths with 55%, you'll get on to registering for your computer number. Once you get the computer number is nothing but your permanent identity for your DGCA papers. If you want to give any paper regarding your pilot license, any pilot license, you should have your computer number. That's a basic funda, and that's the first thing that you're supposed to do if you're becoming a pilot. Right? Then after that, it's either theory or flying. Theory are the papers that you have to clear. Flying is again the word experience. Theory, again, if you're doing the theory, if you're flying from foreign countries, then you have to give 4 papers. That is air navigation, air meteorology, air regulations, and RTR, that is radio telephony. If you're doing it from India, there's an additional subject that is aircraft and general. All right. These are the 5 subjects. We're going to talk about the subjects in the later slide. Next part comes as flying. If you're flying from foreign flying clubs, then you have to go over there. They usually do 250 hours. There are 2 parts. Basically, it's part 41 and part 61 and part 141, which defines the syllabus. It's like one part, one part says that the syllabus is defined. One part says the syllabus is not defined. That is one thing that you have to take care of. That's very important. And if you're doing it from India, it's again DGCA license that you get. If you're doing it from foreign, you have to go to foreign, get your license over there, come back to India, give checks, clear the papers, and submit the documents for your DGCA license. That is Directorate General of Civil Aviation. And if you're doing it from India, there is no hassle. You just go to the flying club, say I want to become a pilot, and they'll get you into the role and they'll start your flying and papers. All right. Now I was talking about medical fitness. So medical fitness is very important, and there are specific examiners that have been appointed by the DGCA, saying that you have the approval for being a DGCA doctor. You can approve other pilots as medically fitness. So that is very important. Make sure whenever you go to some doctor, if you're for class 1, class 2 medical, you have to ask if he is a medical examiner or not, approved DGCA medical examiner or not. Right? There are 2 medical levels. One is class 2, that is for SPL and PPL, and which is valid for 2 years. And the other is class 1 medical, which is valid for 1 year, and it is used for CPL and ATPL. Right? It has to be renewed every year, or else there is one more process that you have to take care of. So I would prefer you take precautions on these things and not get these licenses and your validity is busted. All right. Next is the training process. All right. The whole training process is divided into 3 parts. First is ground training, that is the theory papers and everything. Second is simulator training, and third is the flying training. With ground training, you will be learning all about the basic of aviation, basic of the commercial pilot license aviation. You will be going through all the subjects, having the basic knowledge of it. And then after end of the ground training, you will be setting for the SPL examination, that is student pilot license. SPL is nothing but your training, your learner license for a car. This is for the aeroplane, the learner license for the car. It's very similar. So once you do your ground training,
You say that, yes, I want to become a pilot. I want to fly the aircraft real soon. But there's one more small step that you have to take care of, because there is very less margin of safety for you. One small mistake and things might turn out in a different way. So you undergo the simulator training. That is where you just sit on a chair. There's artificial aircraft in front of you, all the systems and everything, and you fly that aircraft. And so why simulator training is important is because your procedures, your flight profile, your each and every flight maneuver, that is everything you have to practice it over here. This is very important. Even you should know how the practical use of the instrument that you're going to use. So this is very important. And it's said that the more you prepare on the ground, the better the flight is, the smoother the flight will be. So make sure that you do your ground training and simulator training the best, gives your 100% over there. Then comes the favorite part of everyone, flying the aircraft, that is flying training. Over here, you do various kind of exercises. There are cross countries we'll be talking about a bit. There is, in general in India, it's 200 hours of flying, and it's actual experience of the aircraft. You'll be sitting in the aircraft and you'll be flying it with your hand. It's a different journey over there. So you're going to love once you start flying. And if you're prepared well, it's going to be even better. Right? Next is the theory part. Now, this is very important, where you should get the minimum qualification, the minimum passing percentage is 70. If you get 69, you fail. If you get 70, you clear. So that's a very clear line. 70, you're done. So which are the papers that we have to get? The papers are air regulations, which deals with the rules and regulations made by the DGCA, that is Directorate General of Civil Aviation, and you have to follow it, of course, and make sure you don't bust anything. And after that, there's aircraft in general. That's a technical knowledge. It's all about the aircraft, about the different systems, pressurization, hydraulic, air conditioning, many more systems around. So you will be reading everything about that, and also have a basic idea of how the aircraft is made, what material are we using for the aircraft, and how is this thing fitted, how is that thing fitted. It's a basic knowledge that you get. Then next is aviation meteorology, wherein you'll be talking about all about the weather, how to interpret the weather. So like, for example, if some normal person sees a cloud, like, oh wow, there's a cloud. But what a pilot says is, oh, there's a cloud, it's on low level. So it might be a stratus. It's again a type of cloud. So there might be a bit of turbulence, and it might rain after some time. But so it's just one cloud that we interpret these many things, and we prepare a flight accordingly. Then there's air navigation, wherein you'll be dealing to how to navigate the aircraft from point A to point B, which is very important. There are many instruments on board. So you should know each and every instrument properly, thoroughly. And then only you can fly the aircraft in a easy way. Next is technical specific, wherein you'll be giving a paper for every aircraft that you want to fly. It's like, if you want to get endorsed, for example, if you want to fly Cessna 172, that's the type of aircraft. So you have to give a written paper of it and then start flying. Without that, you can't start your flying. That's a basic rule, and it is very important, because you should know the proper training of it, proper knowledge. Last is radio telephony. It deals with the communication of the pilot and the tower, which is very important. Communication in the cockpit and communication outside the cockpit. Those both things are very important. So radio telephony is again. So if you know all the 6 subjects properly, your flight is going to be the smoothest one. The flying experience, again, you're going to learn it over the period. But if you have the knowledge, you're going to kill it in your flights, in the training flights or airline flights or anything. It's going to be a very good time if you know everything about the aircraft. Now comes the main part, that's basic flying training sessions. The first is, again, required ground knowledge. Then comes as a pre-solo training, where you're prepared for the solo training. You're prepared to go alone in the aircraft. Yeah, right. Alone in the aircraft. That's the biggest milestone for every pilot. And everyone pray like, oh, I want to solo quick. I want to solo quick. Because if you drive a car alone, that's a huge achievement. But so imagine if you fly a plane all alone, that's going to be a bigger achievement. So make sure that you'll enjoy. Then comes the solo flight. wherein you're actually sent solo. I remember my date, it's 5th of September 2016, and it was 9:15 a.m. that I took off, and had a very good, it was the best moment of my life. We have a good tradition wherein like they write on the shirt and we frame it. I've kept it in my hanger and it's there in my room itself. So that's a very beautiful memory that you keep for your whole life. Then comes this flight maneuver practice, wherein you'll be practicing all the different type of maneuvers, stalls, steep turns, and normal turns. There are many maneuvers. So you'll be learning all about that. Then is instrument flying, wherein you'll be flying only looking at the instruments. That is very important. It's a magic. Like you just see at the instruments without looking outside, and you'll fly perfect and you'll land it on point. Next is cross-country training. So this is my favorite part, wherein I get to fly to different places even during the training period. I've flown to Ahmedabad, I've flown to Surat, I've flown in Indore, Bhopal, and many more. So I loved it. I've flown in very worse situations with an instructor, wherein the visibility is just like 1.7 kilometers. Like if you see down, you can't see the floor. If you go up, it's out. So, and this is going to be great. This is the fun part, and that's a main part of the flight. And last is the flight test preparation, where you'll be preparing for the flight test, which is going to be very difficult, but you have to prepare for it, and the instructors will prepare you in their own way. So that is very important. It's just like a test of flying to get your license. Next is types of aircraft that you might fly. So there are Cessna 152, 172, DA-40, that is Diamond 40, P-68, P-34, and Diamond 42. So these six are the general aircraft that you might fly. So my favorite aircraft is Cessna 152, and I've flown 152, 172, and P-68. But my personal is Cessna 152. We call it a TT aircraft because it's very cute and it's very easy to handle. And you love flying Cessna 152. I feel it's much better than 172. But yes, 152 is also 172 is also good. No discrimination. Right? So anyway, so after this, these are the six aircraft that you might fly. Then is so right now we were talking all about the conventional program, wherein you take the admission in a flying club, complete your training, then go to wait for the vacancy and apply for the vacancy, and then clear it, and then join the airline. What is cadet program? It is all about, you say to the airline, say suppose Indigo, you say to Indigo, okay, I'm ready to become a pilot, I want to become a commercial pilot. Money is not the problem as such, but I want the job guarantee. So what Indigo does is, okay, you want to be a commercial pilot, come to airline, we have a cadet program, we'll take you in over there. We'll train you from scratch till end, and we'll give you a joining at the end. But the catch is that there is going to be a bond and a security check that you have to give. All right. So bond can be for 3 years, 5 years, I don't know. It depends on the airline to airline. There are AirAsia, Vistara, SpiceJet. There are many different cadet programs that are ongoing. So this is the process that usually I've taken the example of Indigo for now. So this is all about the cadet program, and it costs around 85 lakhs something, but they complete a type rating also. Right? So this is again one perspective that you can achieve, then you can become a commercial pilot. Next is FAQs. All right. So how long will it take? It depends again. If you're a good grasper, if you're quick with your knowledge and everything, you're street smart, you can complete it within 6 to 8 months. But if you are a bit slow learner, if you are a bit so if you want your own time a bit, you might take around 12 to 14 months, something around. What about the money? Money is 26 to 30 lakhs something for the flying training, and it again varies. Again, if you want to go for a proper luxurious airline or luxurious flying club, you have to pay more. If you're doing it from a normal flying club, it's your call. It again varies, but it's something around 26 to 30 lakhs. I wouldn't, and for foreign, it's something around $45,000 to $50,000 in dollars, not in rupees. Next is how much time have you got? There is no time limit, but there is a time limit for your validity for your SPL student pilot license and for your papers. Those are valid for 5 years. So make sure that you clear your papers and clear your flying within the validity time of the paper and SPL. Are there any scholarship? All right. So scholarship, again, you'll have to talk to the government saying, I want a scholarship, what is the formality? They're going to give you a set of formalities and everything steps, like you have to submit so and so documents and all. So over there, yes, you can take a scholarship, but there's no scholarship for the flying. Right? And you don't have to pay fees together. You can do it part by part as in when you're flying. Right? Next is campus placement. That's the biggest confusion that everyone has outside aviation. There are no campus placement. Even IGRO is not doing it, but they say that we have a tie-up or something. You might get a priority, but no, they are not guaranteeing it, but they can put you on priority. But there are no placements. No flying club is going to give you a placement except you're going for a cadet program. All right. Next is about my training institute. This was all about the journey of becoming a commercial pilot. Once you do everything, yes, you are a commercial pilot and you can fly. You can fly in commercial jet, or you can go for a joyride with a family. Take a family, take a girlfriend, take a friend, everyone, whoever you want. You can go for a commercial and enjoy your flights. And about the classes, my friend and I, we have started our own classes. We have founded our own classes. It's called Jetstream Aviation Academy. And my friend's name is Etesham Hussain and Captain Etesham Hussain. So we have founded, we have been together from the flying club, and we always wanted to teach students properly so that they have the perfect knowledge, the perfect funda, the basics, strong funda for everyone. Because if basics are strong, again, like Subhashish sir said, if the basics are strong, you will kill it in every place, everything. So we focus on the basics thing, and we are very cost efficient because we are kept reasonable fees, because you're already paying a lot for your flying training. So we don't want to pay you extra for your flight training or for your classes. We have charged a very reasonable fee structure, and it's going to be a fun time for you guys. We have, I have personally solved 5,000 to 7,000 questions for every subject, for every exam. So if you join it, I'm going to give you 10,000 questions. So you're going to have a good number of questions once you join it, and we're going to have a lot of fun clearing those papers. We're also expanding it. We are talking to more experienced pilots. We are talking to more aviation institutes. We are talking to flying clubs also. So we are expanding it properly, and we want to take it large. And I know you guys are going to come with us, and we are going to have a fun time growing each other. We are going to help you to get your commercial license, and we are going to be together in our journey, in your journey. So we are going to have a fun time. And I hope I see you guys in my classes. And if you have any doubts regarding CPL, ATPL, I've given my number on the bottom right corner and my email ID. You can feel free to reach out over there. And with this, I'll conclude my seminar, my part. And with this, thank you so much, Badri. It was a great time, and thank you, Udaan, for giving me an opportunity. Thank you so much.
You are welcome, sir. Thanks, Captain Puneet, for those comprehensive insights. I am absolutely sure that all the aspiring pilots from our audience would now have some clarity as to what their path ahead looks like. Thank you. It is now time for our last speaker for the day. Mr. Sameer Nayampalli is an industry veteran having more than 20 years of experience under his belt. During his 23-year-long stint at Jet Airways, he has assumed various roles such as duty manager, customer service manager, corporate trainer, and the like. He specializes in training employees in soft skills, communication, customer service excellence, and etiquette. He also boasts of a sound knowledge base in airline policies and procedures. Mr. Sameer also has a musical side to him. He has been learning Hindustani classical and light music from Shri Suresh Wadkar and Srimati Padma Wadkar. He currently teaches music at Ajivasan Music Academy and also offers private tuitions to students. I now request Mr. Sameer to take over. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Badri. Good evening all. Good evening, everybody. Trust all are in the pink of health today. Okay. I'm sure you all have got to know a lot of insights from this vast ocean called aviation from Subhashish sir and Captain Puneet. So on this note, please allow me to take you through yet another special aspect of this ocean of aviation, okay, called as ground handling, which is in hand with in-flight. So in-flight and ground handling remain hand to hand or hand in hand. Now when I say hand in hand, as a ground agent, I don't expect you to hold the hand of a cabin crew and take a ramp walk. That's not what I mean by hand in hand. What I mean hand in hand is you help each other. As a ground agent, you have responsibilities. As a crew, he or she has responsibilities, and both of you, okay, with your experiences and as you join the airline, you serve customers better. Now, needless to say, the first step towards this, what is the first requisite that you should have within you to apply for an airline as a ground staff or a cabin crew? The first thing, please remember, and I'm sure you all know, you have to be the citizen of India, okay, an Indian citizen. Your nationality should be the country's nationality to apply for any airline. Now you can pour in your answers when I ask you, what documents would you think can prove you that you are a citizen of India? Exactly, thank you, home, passport. If you have a passport, your problem is solved. Okay, that's a worldwide nationality proof, okay, for everybody across the world. However, now, just for your information, I'm sure you're aware, but still, Aadhaar card, PAN card have been made mandatory, okay, in India especially for domestic travel, because many people yet who I know, okay, do not possess a passport or do not have a passport. So for domestic travel, what has been made easy for them is by producing an Aadhaar card or a PAN card. All right. Now, requirements to be, I'll first touch upon a cabin crew. So requirements for a cabin crew, basically, I'm sure most of you have traveled, and whenever you see cabin attendants, they are also called as cabin attendants or flight attendants, okay? What do you see in them when they approach you to serve you better? What have you seen in them? Any one or two words you can type in the chat box. What do you see in them? Courteousness, very good. Courteousness, thanks Jatin. Anybody else? Kind attitude, yes. Very good. Kind attitude, courteousness, attributes to something called as a pleasing personality. Yes, Gaurav, thank you. Patience. Thank you very much. However, these are your inner qualities, okay? However, there are some rules and regulations, that is, I would say, requisites that you need to follow, okay? First of all, your communication skills will be checked, and that will be checked only when there's a face-to-face talk or a telephonic conversation between the airline and you. That is basically to interview you, so they should know that why they should select you. Okay, so communication skills. Now here, may I lay stress on both English and Hindi. All right. Now why? Because English is the language which is generally spoken, not only across the world, but also within India. Hindi, it is our national language. However, airlines are now coming up with the rules of knowing regional languages too, for the benefit of the local passengers who travel. Coming back to cabin crew, for a flight attendant, there is a minimum height requirement too, okay? And the height requirement is, for females, that's women, 155 centimeters, that is 5 feet 2 inches. And for men, 170 centimeters, that is 5 feet 7 inches. This is the bare minimum. That means, of course, you can be taller. You must be aware too that when I mention height, there's always a clause in the advertisement that weight should be in proportionate to the height. Weight should be in proportion to the height. Now let's come to minimum education. Okay. Class 12, that is 10 plus 2, HSC. All right. quite a few airlines in India itself have started to demand a minimum 60%, okay, to keep up their standard, to motivate you to study more hard. And believe me, I am an ex-Jet Airways manager. During my last month of Jet Airways, that is in December 2018, I was on the interview panel for cabin crew as a neutral moderator, and I was surprised, as you will be if you hear me what I say. Okay, graduates were preferred and selected first, and then from the remaining, okay, the 12th pass people were then scanned through. So graduation nowadays has become a sort of compulsion just to motivate and encourage youngsters like you to study. When you are in the age, study more, get some more knowledge. Okay, that is not to say that a 12th pass will not be selected. Of course, he or she will be selected. Now, coming to, apart from education, what other skills you must possess? Okay, skills required as in the slide. You must have a pleasing personality. So Gaurav, Jatin and all, they said courteousness, okay, patience. So basically all this attributes to a pleasing personality. You must have good communication and interactive skills. Coming to communication, communication is never one way, guys. It's always two ways. And I'm glad that I asked you questions and I got prompt answers. That's called effective communication. Okay, getting feedback is very, very important. And that's what makes it an interactive session, be it in training, be it between a customer and a staff or whoever it is. English language, I reiterate, proficiency is required. Okay, along with English language, command over the language, alertness, responsibility, patience, like one of you pointed out correctly, and not only patience, but patience to work long hours. Okay, there are certain flight duty time limits. Srinath, I'll have to get back to you on this. Thank you. Yeah, so as I said, patience to work long hours. Now, you are a crew. You have been selected to fly from Mumbai to Kolkata, which is already 2 hours and 40 minutes. Okay. Now, from Kolkata, you may be required to fly to Guwahati, then to Assam, and then come back to Bombay, and then Bombay to Delhi, because from Bombay to Delhi, the crew has not reported. What would you do? If you say no, it is a black mark on your face, minus point. So patience to work long hours. All right. Ensuring the customer's safety. First of all, please allow me to refer the term guest instead of passenger, because passenger, traveler, customers have become normal terms. When I say guest, it makes it more personal. Okay. So the guest safety, providing the guest with commendable customer service. So these are the duties of a cabin crew. Constant greeting of customers or guests, handling them. When I say handling them, I mean answering their queries, being there for them, okay, comforting them during turbulence. Now, if you are a cabin crew, okay, because of bad weather, especially weather like this rainy weather and storm, thunder, whatever it is, there'll be a slight shake in the aircraft. Sometimes the shake is little terrible, that calls it turbulence, wherein you have to be comfortable yourself first, gather yourself, okay, and then go to the customers, provide them safety instructions. Those who do not understand English, Hindi comes in the picture. Along with your kindness and patience, you carry on the work. The last point is very important. Last but not the least, I would say, good physique and health. Good physique, your height alone is not enough. That's why I said weight should be proportionate to the height. Good health is essential because I link it to point number 3, patience to work long hours. Okay, now apart from this, why you? I am the interviewer, you give me your resume, okay, as per whatever was written in black and white, you are the perfect requisite for me because all these points are in you, your height, your weight. So again, why you? Remember, all right, remember, okay, before I go on ahead to the customer service part of it, as I said, graduation is sort of compulsory nowadays. However, a diploma will do in any hotel or tourism management, okay, or a direct graduation in hotel management. But a degree, they are encouraging degree holders more because people will study more for that. All right. These three pictures, what do you see in these three pictures? Quickly glance through these pictures. What do you see? Just a quick one-word answers. I'll give you a cue. The first picture is of a receptionist in the hotel. Arrogance. Yes, Om, correct. Arrogance. Second picture also, I would say arrogance and bad customer service. Thanks, Mayank. What about the third one? What does the third one indicate? It's all made of ketchup on the table. What do you think must have happened? Waited for long service, no service. All right. Yes, laziness. Very good, Om. Laziness can lead to casual nature. Delay in services. That's why the frustration has been vented out on the table with the ketchup bottle. Exactly. So we waited 30 minutes, no service. So that's basically impatience. Yes, you're right. Impatience on the part of the customer. However, we can't tell him that. Okay. Why? Because he has paid for that. He has paid for that service. So thank you, Jay. No customer satisfaction. Jay, I think, has summed up all the answers and said no customer satisfaction. Excellent. So now, basically your duties and responsibilities as airport representatives, airport, airline, organization. The moment you are selected to be a representative, remember, you are the brand of that organization in person. Guys, you are the Chalta Phirta brand in your uniform. Suppose you have to commute by taxi or train or bus whenever you start commuting. People will see you in your uniform. They recognize the uniform because you are the representative. You are the brand ambassador. So basically, your inner qualities, coming back to your inner qualities, apart from your CV and the requisites, remember the customer or the guest will always come to you because he knows you are the brand in person for XYZ Airlines. So for him, you may be the first ever point of contact of the airline. So please leave a pleasant taste in his mind. Okay? Maybe over the phone or maybe at the airport face to face. That could be his first point of contact. So the taste should not be bitter because remember, first impression always lasts. How can you further enhance your qualities? Start giving attention to details. Okay? As a guest, very frustrated. I have not got my bag from my flight from Kolkata to Mumbai, XYZ 123. That's the flight number. And I went all my frustration on you because you are the brand ambassador for me. I have come for a wedding. I have no clothes. My jewelry is there. Okay. You are hearing me or listening to me. That's important. Okay. Many of us, the best of us, have yet to understand the difference between hearing and listening. Your test starts right now. Okay. Giving attention to details means what? After the whole Ramayana, you can't ask me who is Ram. I'll get very agitated. There are many people I've come across, my ex-colleagues. After the whole ordeal, sir, which was your flight number? My God, I told you that first. I came on Kolkata, Mumbai, XYZ 123. I mean, what are we heading towards? So start giving attention to details. This will obviously enhance your problem solving skills and a knack for interacting with customers. Assist guests. That's what they require. Atithi Devo Bhava is the Indian motto of the hospitality industry. Please live up to it, guys. And don't think there are no remedies to problems. Okay? There's only one remedy. Remain calm. However pressurized you are, please remain calm. Pressure is everywhere. Right now also, you may be thinking of something which is pressurizing you. If you are human, yes, pressure is your better half. Remain calm. Magic mantra, remain calm. That will give you patience. That will give you immense patience and strength to think rationally. Guys, be empathetic. When I say empathetic, okay, please put yourself in the other person's shoes and see what you feel, how you feel, how you would feel if you were in that situation, and then communicate. Another thing, apart from your CV and resume, the interviewer will see how much you love to talk. So when you say that I love to talk and meet with people, be prepared for anything from the day of your interview. So many problems is one solution. Remain calm, patient, empathetic, and then communicate passionately. Smile. Second best thing you can do with your lips. So please smile. Okay? A silent smile says it all. So I wish you all the best, all the very best, and I hope I come across in you guys, okay, as a future generation as ground staff or cabin crew whenever I travel, and all the best. Thank you, Badri.
You're welcome, sir. Absolutely. I'm pretty sure that a lot of us are smiling right now. Thank you so much, Samir sir. Yes, sir, for enlightening us about what it takes to become a successful professional in the customer service domain.
Well,
We understood how communication skills and a calm state of mind are indispensable in this profession. Thank you very much.
welcome.
Now that our experts are done with their individual presentations, we will now move on to our Q&A session. The chat box will now be enabled and will be active for a few minutes. Kindly type in all your doubts and questions so that we can get them clarified from our experts. In the meantime, please allow me to give you some information about Udaan's upcoming certification courses in the month of August. We've got some really interesting and niche courses for you. On the 16th and 17th of August, we are conducting the Aviation Ramp Handling and Safety Certification course. In case you're wondering about the word ramp, it is the area of an airport where aircraft are parked, loaded, unloaded, and the like. A popular saying goes, tour is human. However, in the world of aviation, safety is absolutely paramount, and there is no scope for mistakes when it comes to safety. Thus, this course will dwell deep into airport service cycles, different ramp activities, and of course, not to forget ramp safety. If you've ever fancied working at an airport with the big metallic birds right next to you, we are sure this course is the right one for you. On the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of August, we are conducting the Airline Revenue Management course. As an outsider, all that we see are planes flying gracefully. However, there are so many aspects and processes that go on behind the scenes that are invisible to us. They happen far away from all the planes in the corporate offices of airlines. An airline is a business, and for a business to survive in such an uncertain and hyper-competitive environment, proper revenue management is indispensable. In this course, you will learn about the history and basic concepts of revenue management. You'll also be given insights into how airlines maximize revenues and about the different fare dynamics that are at play. Are you an aviation enthusiast interested in finance and management? Then this course is tailor-made for you. Did you know that Udaan was born out of an entity called TreePassers? TreePassers is an organization that was started with the intention to bring trees and plants of all shapes, sizes, and types to people's homes. It aims to purify people's homes by delivering NASA and WHO prescribed plants that are proven to reduce indoor pollution greatly. TreePassers also has an extremely active CSR wing that regularly conducts tree planting events in and around Mumbai. Udaan Aviation Academy, in association with TreePassers Eco Solutions, is organizing a 3-day course on aviation and the environment. The aviation industry and the environment are two aspects that go hand in hand. In this course, you'll gain insights into sustainability, the environmental impact of the industry, and how airlines and airports across the world are striving to reduce their carbon footprint. This course stands testament to Udaan's commitment to bringing diverse courses to students that are not available on other mainstream learning platforms. Did you know that Udaan Aviation Academy publishes interesting news and blogs from the world of aviation regularly? You can read them on our website, www.udaanaviationacademy.com. We also request you to kindly follow us on our social media pages to know more about our upcoming events. The links to all our social media pages will be posted in the chat box. Thank you. Okay, so now for some questions. Okay, so the first question is for Subhashish sir. Can you please recommend a specific worthy course and from where you pursue?
Hello, good evening, Badri. I was not able to hear you properly. Could you repeat the question again, please?
Yes, no problem. The question is, can you recommend a specific worthy course and from where you can pursue it?
Okay, specific worthy course. Okay, so is the user looking to get into pilot training or customer services, or what is it? I mean, if you want to get a decent course within the aviation industry, if you are looking on the bachelor spectrum, then there are good colleges out there. I mean, there is one of the colleges which the ministry itself is starting now, which is the Rajiv Gandhi National Open University, and their admissions deadline is on the 16th of August. So people can look into that. They have got an excellent course which is coming up in the bachelor's program, and that is keeping in mind the industry requirements. So that is one such course which you can look into. Apart from it, there are other plethora of colleges in and around each and every city from which you can sort of do your basic entry level bachelor's courses. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. The next question is for Captain Puneet. The question is, can I apply for pilot position after completing Bachelor's of Engineering in Mechanical?
Yeah, of course. Of course, you can do pilot license anytime you want it. It's just a basic requirement is physics and maths with 55% in it. If you have physics and maths, you can take it. You can again do it with your BTech, your any graduation. I've done my BSc in aviation together with my commercial pilot license. If that answers your question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, so the third one is for Mr. Samir. The question says, I don't know Hindi at all. Where do I learn it from if I want to become a cabin crew member?
Okay, now I got unmuted. Okay. All right. The question is on Hindi, right?
Yes, a lot of people in the audience say that they don't know Hindi. So the question is, where do they learn it from if they want to become a cabin crew member?
Yes. I know some of my friends from Cochin and all, they do from Mangalore. They have learned Hindi from this app called as Duolingo. It's online. Duolingo. Duolingo. So that's basically for any language, Marathi, Hindi, any regional language. And it's basically an online course. So on Google, that information is definitely available.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome.
Yeah. So the next question is for Subhashish sir. What is the future of aviation seeing the current scenario?
Well, Badri, that's a very excellent question right out here in the times of pandemic. As I've mentioned during my slide as well, the future of aviation at this point of time in this, by the end of this month or by the end of this year will be quite shaky looking at where the industry is. I mean, the fares are capped by the government. The airlines cannot fly their, full potential. Currently, they are operating at 45–50% of their potential. International flights are not open yet, apart from Vande Bharat mission. To be very honest, looking at the history of aviation industry, there are, comparing to the historical aspects, by the start of next year, the flights might start going international. So yeah, people just need to hold back tight by this end of this year, and next year you will see aviation industry getting its spaces back. I was reading to a report which is from OAG. It is one of the biggest data crunchers of airline data in the industry, and they were showing that the Indian domestic civil aviation market is slowly growing day by day. Okay, the flights are opening more, the tier 2, tier 3 cities are getting covered. So this year will be all about capacity building. And at the start of next year, we might see, about obtaining 80-85% capacity. And by the mid of next year, we will go at full swing. That is what the market trend is telling us. So as and when the market opens, the job market will also open up, and thus opening much more careers in aviation. Yeah. So just want to conclude, this year, sit tight, make sure you are safe and secure. And next year, you all will be flying with the industry. Yeah.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. So thank you so much. So we've got one other question for Captain Puneet.
Yeah.
So the question is, I am a BTech holder, but I have less than 55% in 12th grade. Do I need to appear for NIOS?
Yes, you will have to appear for the NIS exams because the minimum requirement for computer number is physics and maths with 55%. So yeah, you'll have to appear for NIS board.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. We also have another question for you. So what part of the job should we do while with flying for CPL so that we can get some advantage during the airline interview?
So can you repeat the starting part?
Yeah, so they are asking what part-time job should we do while flying for commercial pilot's license so that we can get some advantage during the airline interview?
You can always take up any job in aviation. You can try for airlines itself. Try for the ground staff over there. Maybe any ground staff in airline. Or if you don't want to go to the airline, you can always talk to the chartered companies and helicopter companies or any other companies which are dealing with small flights. You can apply as a flight dispatcher, as an assistant flight dispatcher. That again, if you want to be a commercial pilot, the most closest position is flight dispatcher. So you can always take up that position if the airline allows it. That's a perfect thing. If not, then always opt for the other options. But it's always you can take a job in aviation or in chartered flying.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. So now we've got another question for Samir, sir. So the question is, if some consultancy and not airline or airport is offering ground staff jobs on sites like Indeed.com and Monster.com, what is the chance that the offer is legitimate? So how do we find out if a particular job offer that we find online is legitimate or not? Samir, sir, are you with us? Can you hear me? Okay.
Okay, I can mute now. Fine. Okay. So the question is, if
Sir, can I repeat the question again?
yes.
Yeah. So the question is, so if there is some consultancy that is not an airline or an airport that is offering a ground staff job on online websites such as Indeed and Monster.com, how do we find out whether that particular job offer is legitimate or not? So we've seen a lot of scams related to fake job offers. So can you give us some steps as to differentiate between the legitimate ones and the illegitimate ones?
Being an airline staff myself, I would recommend go with the airline advertisement only. That is the only authentic opportunity for you, because even while I was leaving Jerryways, I was resigning for my last 2-3 months. There were rumors. I wouldn't call them rumors, but a lot of these fake letters and employment letters to people who needed jobs, and then the airline turns them down. No, we have no vacancies. I don't know who has issued this letter. So the airline and the airline HR will definitely post and circulate advertisements whenever as per their requirement.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, sir. So we've got we're running out of time, so we will be answering just 2 more questions. So one of the people has asked, this is for Shubhashish, sir. Could you please tell us about your online certificate courses, about the costs, how to apply, and the different courses, etc.?
Okay. First of all, you see, Udaan Aviation Academy deals with niche courses out there. Something which is, very uncommon, but which is highly required in the aviation industry. So courses like, as you have just seen, aviation and environment. I mean, there are very few organizations around the world who are teaching such courses, and the impact of aviation which it has on the environment is something which is noteworthy. So if someone wants to get in touch with Udan Aviation Academy, at the last slide you will be getting contact numbers in the chat box itself. I believe there is a link which is sent for the Udan Aviation's website. You can get in touch on WhatsApp. Our team is highly responsive. So get in touch with them. Get in touch with Nikhil, Tanmay, even Badri as well. So these guys are good to connect on that. The good thing about Udan is that we are a very lean company. Okay, we speak with students on one-on-one basis. A lot of them even don't understand what courses they need to do. So we kind of sit with them, we kind of talk with them, and we analyze as to what will fit as per their current requirements. So then we sort of tell them about the courses, and then that's how they can do it. So yes, on all the social media platform, we are out there on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. We are one of the one of the best companies out there on LinkedIn when it comes to aviation studies. So quite active out there, and also on Telegram, and so you will find us us on Twitter as well. So yeah, a lot of contact points for you in order to contact us. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Shubhashish sir. So we've got time for one final question. The question is for Captain Puneet. So one of them is asking, what is the entire cost to become a pilot? So this cost is which is cost that is inclusive of the commercial pilot's license as well as the airline specific the entire cost. They want to know how much it costs.
All right. So starting with commercial pilot license, you should expect as expenses of around something like 26 to 30 lakhs for your CPL. Right now, the costs have been a bit jumped, but it's still around 26 to 30 minimum. If you want to do a basic one, and if you want to go for a better one, it might go to 30, 32, 33. And next is for the type rating part. If you want to fly a commercial jet, you have to do a type rating part. So for type rating, you have to, there are many institutes in India. There's one FSTC. There are many more in foreign. So the minimum cost for type rating, at least for 320, Airbus 320, it is around 11 lakhs. But you can expect anything from 11 to 15 lakhs if you want to do it all on your own. But if you're doing it with the airline itself, like if airline is saying that, okay, you have to go over there and do your type rating, then it might vary again with the airline. But the basic personal cost, it's again around 11 lakhs, 11 to 15 lakhs for your type rating. So it again goes from something like 30 plus 11, it's 41. So around like 40 to 43 lakhs, you can expect a bit around it.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Now we have received a lot more questions, but I am afraid that we are running out of time. So, guys, you don't worry. You can get them clarified. Just get in touch with us at Udan Aviation Academy. All of us are active on WhatsApp. You could find our number, and also you can get in touch through email. All the social media pages links will be shared on the chat box. Please do follow us. We don't just market our courses, we also publish some interesting blogs, some interesting facts, and a lot more. And yeah, thank you so much. So now we have reached the end of this session. Now we request all the participants to kindly switch on their cameras so that we can take a group screenshot. Yeah. Because of the pandemic, we are all in different places. We're all divided. We're not able to see each other. But then the least that we can do is see each other's faces to add a bit more of a human and emotional touch to this webinar. Thank you so much. Also, guys, we've got a feedback form. It's been posted on the chat box. Please do fill in the form. We at Udaan believe in absolute of the best customer experience. So if you have any opinions about the webinar, if you thought something was needed to be better, or any of your honest thoughts, do let us know. We would love to make our webinars and sessions much better in the future. Yeah. Has the screenshot been taken?
Yes, Badri.
Okay, great. Yeah. We have now reached the end of our webinar. I would like to thank our speakers, Mr. Sameer, Captain Puneet, and Mr. Shubhashish, for taking time off their busy schedule and agreeing to join us. I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to you all, ladies and gentlemen, in the audience for joining us today. This webinar would not have been possible without your presence. Thank you so much for being such a receptive audience. I would also like to extend my gratitude towards our associate partners, Hurain Institute of Management Studies, Jetstream Aviation Academy, GMR Aviation Academy, Eagletronics Aviation, and Tree Partners. Without this support, we would not be what we are today. Thank you so much. It is now time to wrap up today's session. I hope you had fun today.
Thank you, Badri, for this wonderful opportunity. And thank you, Puneet ji. Thank you, Sameer sir, for your time with Udaan Aviation Academy.
Thank you.
And we just believe in crafting airworthy careers. And to all the ones out there who are passionate about aviation industry, I mean, that is what drives all of us in this sector, the passion which we have. Okay. In this industry, we all need to be very thick-skinned. ये जो fluctuations होते रहते, we need to get immune to all of this. So yeah, to the students out there who want to make a career in the aviation industry, please get in touch with us, and we are there to assist you out. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
And also,
Thank you so
guys,
much.
Yeah, go ahead, sir. So I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Badri. Thank you so much,
You're
Subhashi sir and Samit, for organizing this webinar and giving me an opportunity to come over here and talk about my journey. It's always a pleasure to help everyone, and it's aviation. It's all about brotherhood. So it was a great opportunity. So thank you so much, Udaan and its team. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I wish all of you the very best for your future endeavors. Do stay home, stay safe, and the sky is the limit. We will reach for the skies.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good evening. Very nice. Great. Great. Acha, you know what? I couldn't open the video only. The host had stopped it.